Hello, everyone. Very good morning and good evening. Welcome to the Step Up Circles. Parminder here from Sastrageek Solutions. Topic is Advanced Available to Promise, aATP. So aATP, we are going to do it, right? And this thing we are going to do in this session, which we are going to start from 21st October. It would be Monday, 6:30 a.m. India Standard Time. The session, the batch we are going to start. Earlier, we were directly jumping into aATP, thinking that ki, bhaiya, you already know ATP. But in this one, I'm adding one more thing. What is ATP? Detailed overview of ATP. That also will be covering. So we'll cover the detailed overview of ATP, which generally we cover in our SD mastery sessions, but I will cover here also. If you are joining this one and if you don't know ki, bhaiya, what is ATP there, so we'll spend at least one full complete session, the first session on ATP, so that you know the ATP, and then we jump into aATP. Now, before we proceed ahead, the first thing we need to know कि भैया ATP है क्या before we talk about advanced available to promise. What is ATP? And I want the answers here quickly over the chat. I know a lot of people joining here are experienced one. Quickly answer on the chat. What is ATP? What is ATP? ATP है क्या? I have few answers. Assuring the availability of stock to the customer over a period of time in the form of contract. In the form of contract. Okay. Not really. Stock availability to promise the requirement based on the inward movements and the outward movements. Allocation of stock as per the demand from business. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for responding. And there's a rule which we follow in these sessions. If you don't know the answer, you need to type NI. But you need to type something. You need to your fingers to the keyboards and type, if you don't know the answer, type NI. So that your focus comes back in this session, although it's online session. But I want to make sure that your focus remains on this session. A human brain cannot concentrate more than 15-20 minutes. It will get diverted. So to bring your focus in, I will be asking some questions to you. If you don't know the answer, it's okay. You can type NI. The idea is to bring your focus back into this session. Tomorrow is Monday. A lot of things you need to go to do in the office, so the mind get diverted, right? To make sure you are focused here, we use that technique to get something typed from you. Okay. So ATP, before discussing advanced available to promise, we need to understand ATP. ATP is available to promise. That is correct. The full form is available to promise. Okay, so one thing is that why it is required and in which condition it would be required, then what it is. So let's say we have a customer and he wants to order something from us. And he has also placed the order. He has given us the purchase order. He wants to buy a car. Specific car, 10 quantities he wants to buy from us. He has given the purchase order to us. We have created the sales order in our system. In our system, we have created a sales order with the quantity 10. And he said, Ki, Bhaiya, I want this cars, 10 cars. The delivery date should be 15th of October. I need it. By 15th of October, I need this 10 cars. Now, if you have a stock of 100 for the same car, which he is asking for, if you have a stock of 100, okay, and it just take the delivery time is just 2 days. Delivery time is just 2 days. Within 2 days, we can deliver to that customer. Can we confirm this quantity? Can we give the commitment to the customer based on our stock that we will be able to supply to you? Can we do that? Answer is yes or no. With yes or no, quickly answer in the chat. Quickly. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Most of the people said yes, we can do. Okay, most of the people said yes. Ranjan said yes and no. So it depends a lot of things. Bhanu said no. So the answer is it is not confirmed yet. Having a stock does not mean that I would be able to supply to this customer. Okay, having a stock does not mean. So it can happen. I have a stock of 100. Not a good color. Let me change the color. I have a stock of 100, but I also have another customers. This customer, I already have another customer. I already have committed him the 50 quantity. There is another customer. I committed him 80 quantity or another 50 quantity. So I have a stock of 100, but I already have an open sales order of 100. And for this open sales order of 100, I have already committed it. And then there is another customer with the quantity 20. From them also I have a sales order, but I have not confirmed committed him. So when I'm getting this order from this customer with quantity 10, although in system I can see that stock is there of 100, but still I need to check whether I can confirm, whether I can commit this 10 quantity that by 15th of October, I would be able to supply you or not. Right? I cannot do, I need to check. I need to check that what is the stock on hand I have, and for this on hand stock, what is the already committed quantities? 50, 20, 20, 10, already committed quantities are there. So I cannot commit it. That is the word available to promise word come from. Available, it is not having a stock available, it is available to promise. कि मेरे पास, I have a stock which I can do the promise. Okay, I have a stock, but I cannot promise. So it is available to promise. How much I have available, which I can promise. I have 100 rupees with me. Somebody is asking me, give me 20 rupees. Right? Can I promise him to give the 20 rupees? No, I have another people. I need to give them 150 rupees. So I cannot promise this guy to give 20 rupees, although I have 100 rupees in my pocket. So that is, it is not about what do you have. It is about how much do you have to give the promise. So 15th October, straight away, I cannot promise to this customer. Okay, I cannot promise to this customer. And where this promise is displayed, if you know the sales order screens, do you know where this promise is displayed? In which screen in the sales order this promise is displayed? Quickly over the chat. NI if you don't know. NI if you don't know. By the time I will also try to open the system. Okay, I'm going to the VA03 screens of the sales order. I would be having some order, existing order will be there, which we can check it. Schedule lines is the correct answer, yes. So if I have a schedule line, I have this order of quantity 10. If I want to check the confirmation, I need to go into the schedule lines. This is my schedule line, right? In the schedule line, I would be seeing this, okay. The delivery date was required 20th of September, but we are committing it for 26th of September. Okay, I have confirmed quantity. This is the committed quantity we are looking for. The committed quantity was on 26th of September and the confirmed quantity is 10. So this tab, schedule lines tab, tells you that when customer requested for it and when we are delivering for it. Okay, that is the schedule line tab which will be telling us. Now in this schedule line tab, in this case, in our case, if I go to our case, when this has been requested and I don't have a stock, what confirmation I will give it to the customer? I cannot give any confirmation to the customer as of now. Okay, so first thing comes, that is called availability check. Availability check at the time of order creation. Or it is also called product availability check at the time of order creation. With the aATP rules, I would be checking. We'll discuss aATP rules when we jump into our detailed course. In aATP rules now, in S4 HANA, in the latest version, the configuration windows also have been changed. But with aATP rules, I would be defining that when I am going to consider to confirm to the customer whether I should only consider stock or I can also consider my purchase orders or I can also consider my production order. Can I consider my purchase order? Can I consider my production orders? Can I consider it? My stock is of 100, but you know what? I have an open production order. And on 1st of November, with this production order, I'm getting another 200 quantity. I'm getting another 200 quantity. So shall I consider the production order also while doing my calculation? Shall I do it, or shall I don't, I should not do it? Quickly, yes or no? Scope of check. Vidya said, sir, scope of check में configure करोगे. If you will do the configuration in the scope of check, you can consider it. Otherwise, you cannot consider it. Yes, that answer is right. SAP gives us through the configuration, and this is the configuration, the scope of check configuration I will be covering in the session number 1. Based on that configuration, it will depend that whether apart from the stock, and stock also what you want to consider. Can you consider the quality stock? Can you consider the block stock? Shall we consider the quality stock? Shall we consider the block stock? Shall we consider the purchase orders? Shall we consider the production orders? Shall we consider the purchase requisition? Shall we consider the planned orders? What are the things you need to consider as a demand? Okay, demand also. You want to also compare the sales order, or you can also compare the stock transfer orders, STO also. Shall you consider your STO as a supply to give the commitment, right? A lot of questions would be there that need to be configured in the system to make sure you would be able to do this, right? But let's say we say that this production order, nothing is there, right? Then this order of quantity 10, although I have a stock, but I have a 0 confirmation quantity because I say that based on the stock only I need to confirm. Okay, although yes, production orders need to be considered. Purchase order can also be considered, but that depends on the configuration. But let's say I don't have any demand and I don't have any supply. Purchase order bhi nahi hai, neither purchase order is there, nor production order is there, nothing is there. Okay, let me also ask you, can I consider planned orders and purchase acquisition? Shall I consider planned orders and purchase acquisition? Shall I consider it? Abhinandan said yes. Renuka said yes. I can consider it. But in general, we don't prefer, as a consultant, I don't advise to consider it. Because that planned order and purchase acquisition with the MRP run, you would be having so many. We cannot consider it as a confirmed. Even it is not given to the vendor to supply. Purchase acquisition, we don't give to vendor. Purchase order, at least it has been given to the vendor. Planned order, again, it is as a planned quantity. It is not given to the production team for the execution. So technically, yes, we can do. Practically, we avoid to use the purchase acquisition and planned orders for the confirmation quantity. But let's say we don't have anything. कुछ भी नहीं है हमारे पास. Nothing is there, right? Then what will happen? This order will go into, this order would be called as a back order. This order would be called as a back order. A lot of, I have seen that in interviews, a question has been asked about the back orders. How do you manage the back order? And sometimes consultant does not know that terminology itself. Back order kya? What is this back order? What is this animal? Right? The back order is nothing as a normal order which is not committed yet, for which the confirmation we have not given. Committed quantity is 0 as of now. Requested quantity is there, but committed quantity is 0. Those orders will call as a back orders. These back orders goes into the back order processing. The back orders goes into the back order processing, right? For back order processing, we have V_V2 in SAP. That batch job we can run it, V_V2 batch job we can run it. And then system check that what is the supply we have. And what can happen, let's say now today is a back order, right? Then tomorrow, this guy canceled its order. If this guy cancels its orders, whether automatically this order will get confirmed? Quickly answer yes or no. This guy, today I have created order and this is a back order. Tomorrow, this guy canceled its order. कि नहीं, ये नहीं चाहिए मुझे. I don't want it. Whether this order will automatically get confirmed? Yes or no? Quickly. Yes, no, yes, no, no. It does not get confirmed automatically. Until unless you will go into the order and do the availability check to the order, it will not confirm. It will not confirm. That's why V_V2 is a transaction in SAP ECC. It is also available in SAP S4 Hana. We can run this transaction, and with this transaction, system would be able to identify if there is availability of the stock. Suddenly we have a stock come up, a customer return came up, right? We were not expecting from the production, but production they have produced in a day, and they said, "Here, this is the material for you." There was something in the blocked stock, and they have reworked it, and they have produced the stock in the next day. Stock came up, right? Now, automatically allocation will not happen. Automatically confirmation will not happen. Somebody need to do that confirmation. Okay, so for that we do it is also called the rescheduling batch jobs. Rescheduling batch jobs and the back order processing batch job need to run so that those back orders, once the stock comes, can be allocated. Now, I told you there is two things are there, right? There is one, this customer is there with 20 quantity. He is under the back order. He is under the back order. And then this guy is also under this quantity, also is in the back order. When you are running a back order processing, this order is not cancelled. This order is still there. When you are running a back order processing, from another customer, a return stock came up, which is okay and good to process. A stock came up of 10 quantity. A 10 quantity stock came up. You run this, your back order processing batch job. Which customer, whether this customer we will allocate the 10 quantity, or whether this customer will allocate the 10 quantity? Tell me which customer. Let's say this customer is A and this customer is B. Which one this 10 quantity should be allocated to? Answer A and B quickly in the chat. In the chat. What is the difference between rescheduling batch job and the back order processing batch job? It's a two different terminology, you can say, Abhinandan. It's the same thing. Different business use the different terminology for it. Based on the priority from customer master, Vidya said that ki bhaiya priority from the customer master. With that, first in first out, कि भैया जिसने पहले order दिया है, whoever given the order first should be delivered first based on the date. Sumati is saying that, can you show this process in SAP system? For sure, we'll be showing it when we starting from 21st October. This full mind map, you can see that n number of tabs are there. It would be covered there, but I need time. I cannot show you the back order processing itself today. At least it will take 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours for me to explain the aATP. Then 1 hour again to explain the back order processing. And then another 2 hours to take you in detail into the system to run it. So that is total 5 hours of journey we need to do at least to make you understand the back order processing, the advanced back order processing. We'll do in the system, but not today, Sumati. We would be doing in the system when we jump into our first session. From there, if you continue with the full journey of aATP learning, you will see everything in the system. Depends in the delivery priority, depend on the priority based on the high priority of the customer master. Here, customer master, we have a delivery priority field. Everybody knows, right? So based on that, we will do it. As simple as that, right? Now, let me ask you, this customer order came first. Okay, this customer order came first. First come, first serve, this customer. Priority also, this has a one priority, higher priority, and this guy has a priority 2. Let me use another color to distinguish what we are mentioning it. So this customer, he has given the first order. This customer has order priority 1, right? This customer has an order priority 2, and he has given the order today, right? But this guy is asking us, boss, if you can give it to me by 15th November, he wants it by 15th November. Although his order priority is high, but he wants it on the 15th November. This guy is asking for 15th October. This guy is asking for the 15th October, right? Then what should I do? I should give it to 15th October, right? Because if I give it to the 15th October, I still have a time for this customer, the another stock, I can produce it and then deliver to it, right? So what happened? These decisions are not that simple. It depends a lot of things. It depends on what is your requested delivery date, what is the customer priorities are there, and it can depend on a lot of different parameters. From which sales organization the order is coming, from which distribution channel the order is coming. Strategically, I want to grow my e-commerce. So my e-commerce orders are the highest priority. So that e-commerce orders comes from a specific distribution channel. So that is the highest priority for me. So the business definition of deciding that to whom I need to give. Business can also say, why this is having the 50 allocated quantity, reduce it to 30. Reduce it to 30, and then you confirm this 10 also and this 20 also. So that business logics are very complex to decide that. And the current SAP ECC system or ATP system does not have those complex logics, does not have those. And I'm talking about very simple thing right now. If it is that is looking to you complex, the complexity is going to come ahead. There are so many another things will happen apart from back order processing, supply protection, product allocation, alternative based confirmation. So many things can come up, right? This is not a small topic. This is itself is a submodule. I'm telling you, aATP itself is going to be a submodule. That many things are going to be there. So that it would be very complex. A lot of business logics, different business criteria will come up. And as per my experience, we put that business logic in aATP. In very esteemed clients, we have generated all these complex logics. We have done enhancements for them. Because this V_V2 is very basic in nature. Based on either it say that either I will do based on this date or I will do based on the delivery priority. But I want a combination of both. I want, if my order is in next 1 week and my delivery priority is 3, but because it is in the next week, it should be highest priority, right? But if I have a diamond customer is there, order priority 1, and I need to deliver in next 2 weeks. Okay, after 2 weeks, I want to deliver, that should be the highest priority. So that combinations, and I am giving you just 2 combination. I added one related to that also. One of the criteria related to that based on the distribution channel, it can differ, right? Based on that, business comes with very complex logic. If this is there, that is there, that is there, this is priority. But this comes, that comes, this is the priority. And current SAP system does not have a capability. aATP does not have a capability to do those things. Which tool have a capability then? Which tool has a capability? Before coming into aATP, it is a GATP. Now let me a little bit talk about the GATP. How do we configure the delivery priority decision in SAP? So just to answer, let me quickly try to show if the screen works. Earlier when I tried to do, there's some SAP note need to be implemented to run this. /o v_v2. You see that this is the way the priorities you can decide it. This is the normal SAP, not the complex one. This is with aATP. This is the standard functionality in ECC and S4 HANA also. You would be able to see that, but what is your priority one? Your sales document, stock transfer orders, that should be the priority one. That based on the STOs and sales orders are there. Sales orders should be given the priority. Then the delivery priority. This is the second priority. Delivery priority which comes from your customer master data. A lot of people saying कि भैया delivery priority check करो and allocate based on that. Third number comes the date. It means that if there is a 2 customer who has the same delivery priority, same delivery priority, then based on the date, based on the requested delivery date, system can confirm it that, okay, this customer has the same delivery priority, but he needs early, so give priority to him. But what I am talking about is dynamic. If it is 1 week, within the 1 week, the order is there, the delivery priority is 3, but this is still my high priority. So the combination of both, I would be able to decide it. That capability is not there in this tool, V_V2. then that capability is there with back order processing. Either it is there in GATP, which is run through APO, Global Available to Promise, and now it is coming through aATP, Advanced Available to Promise. With the Fury screen, we have a back order processing, which we can do it. I will take you in detail and deep. That would be the very big topic. In back order processing, we have this bucket strategies. In advanced back order processing, we have this bucket strategies. And with this bucket strategies, win, gain, improve, redistribute, you would be able to write your logic. Okay, I would explain you this in detail. Okay, so there in win, gain, improve, we'll be creating different buckets, and we'll put a logic, and based on that logic, dynamically one sales order will go into one bucket and rule will apply. And today one sales order is going into that bucket, tomorrow it can shift into the another bucket also when you are running it tomorrow. So that logics are dynamic in nature, and that where you would be able to write your complex logic, which is not there in aATP. That's where aATP comes into the picture, to give you these, to answer these complexity from the business. But one thing more I want you to make you understand, it is not necessary that every customer will require it. Can you tell me that this complexity which I am talking about, which kind of customer will require it? What kind of customer will require this complexity? Quickly over the chat. aATP is functionality in SAP S4 Hana only? Yes, that's right. Can we integrate aATP with BRF Plus for the rule setup instead of enhancements? aATP rule setup is there through the Fury applications. You would be able to do it. aATP, we do the enhancements. aATP, we do the enhancement. aATP has a lot of, BRF Plus is not required. HANA frame rule work engine was used earlier. That also SAP has changed. Right? And with the Fury applications, you will be able to do it rather than doing enhancements. Okay, I am repeating my question. Which kind of customer these complex requirement would be there? Which kind of customers? Every customer does not require, even every customer does not require aATP. Forget about aATP. Fortune 500. ज़्यादा खुजली उनको ही है, right? Fortune 500 को. Beverage industry, retail industry, pharma industry. Okay, thank you. So basically, any customer who has an issue with demand and supply, this logic works based on the demand and supply, right? If you have a lot of supply and if you have a less demand, then you always have a stock on hand, which you're looking for that to supply to the customers, right? Wherever you have a more stock and less demand, this aATP complexity will not come in. It can be any industry segment. But on the other way around, the places where you have high demand and less stock. Let's say we talk about pharma industry with the COVID vaccination. COVID vaccine, high demand, limited stock. Then you need to decide, and a lot of things, this back order processing is just one finger out of five. It's just one finger out of five. Now, the COVID vaccination, where so many customers are required, you need to strategically divide how much I need to send to each region, because I need a coverage in the regions. I cannot say that, okay, one big customer paying high and I give it to him. That cannot happen. I need to strategically divide my iPhone 16. A shortage in the market, right? Not only the India market, many markets have a shortage for the specific variants. You are not getting it, right? So iPhone 16, high demand, but limited stock. There you need this complexity will come in. There this complexity will come in, where basically your stock is limited and demand is high. Then you need to think about which customer, when, what stock need to go in. Then after BOP, a PAL will come. PALSA will come. Product allocations will come. Then supply protection will come. These all would be looking like a very fancy name, but these are all associated with what quantity to which customer and when I should give it. These all different names, terminology I'm using it. These are the specific business functionality in SAP S4 HANA and aATP, which helps you to make sure which material to which customer on which date in which quantity I should supply. Right? So any customer who has the issue with demand versus supply, it is not that overall supply is there. But let's say when we go into the Diwali period, when we go into the Christmas period, suddenly high demand comes up and then I have a limited stock, right? Then I need to decide which customer I need to give, who is my diamond priority customer, I have a good relationship with them and I am expecting more and more business. I need to focus on them, right? So wherever the demand versus supply is a problem, there the aATP comes. This question in the interview, 70% people are not able to explain when I ask it. तो ये चाहिए कहाँ बता दो. You know all back order processing, all product allocation, but where you will apply it? Tell me. That's a simple business understanding also is people lacking. Make sure after today's session, you don't lack that understanding. Okay. I have some questions coming it up. If I'm not able to answer because a lot of chat is happening, please park it for the question for the last. So we understand. Now I will take you. Okay, let me answer quick questions. How many hours of duration? This roughly 10 hours, you can say. In 10 hours, we'll be able to cover it. One session in a week we'll be having. So you're looking for 2 months to get this course completed. aATP is separate course altogether, not bundled in HANA Advanced. No aATP, we have put it separate because itself it is coming it as a sub-module. So we have created as a separate course. aATP is handled by me, Giriraj. I do the sessions. And this would be the last sessions. The price will not change. Price will remain same. But this course, after this live session, will become only the self-paced course. I would be doing a session once in a 6 month to cover the changes. What are the delta things are there? This would be the last virtual instructor-led session from me. Maybe next 2 or 3 years, again, I can jump in and cover a new, where a lot of things has been changed, but this would be the last virtual instructor-led session from me on aATP. Is there a certificate for aATP? How do you say? I will come to that question, parking that question. I need to cover the aATP opportunities. I will cover that question. Okay. I have a support team. They would be answering. Mohit is there. He would be sending you the link of the course. You can go and check the prices from there. Okay. Now you understand to this functionality, there's a different tools, right? So in ACC, we were having aATP. And in ECC also, this functionality, this requirements was there. And at that time, this functionality was answered by GATP. All this functionality we are talking about, the advanced backorder processing, it does not mean that when we were working in ECC, business was not having requirement or it was not fulfilled by SAP. Still, it was fulfilled by SAP, but it was fulfilled by GATP. Global Available to Promise. Global Available to Promise. So this is the part of APO, Advanced Planning and Optimization. That is the SCM product. From the SCM product of SAP, it was answered. So basic functionality is covered through aATP. Advanced functionality is covered through GATP. So within GATP, the APO consultant, within the APO also the people who are expert, have expertise, have experience in APO, they cover the GATP. They cover the GATP, Global Available to Promise. Right? The APO consultants was covering it. Now you all know APO is going to sunset. Surya Ast Sammast. Right? So APO is going to sunset. When APO is going to sunset, what is going to happen with this functionality of GATP? GATP, they said, okay, we will scrap it. We will not go ahead with GATP. Rather than going ahead with GATP, when SAP is going ahead with S4 Hana, they said we would develop a new functionality and it would be recoded. A lot of places you will see the PPDS is also there, right? In APO, that PPDS has been broken out from APO and inserted in S4 Hana. That is the embedded PPDS, we call it. This we don't call it embedded GATP or embedded aATP because this is not embedded. This is the new code has been written. New Fiori application styles, everything newly has been done for this. So this GATP, because SAP was not very happy the way the solution was there, it need to be simplified for the end user usage. That's why the adaptability was also less. SAP said that we need to increase the adaptability. We are scrapping GATP and we are going ahead with aATP, Advanced Available-to-Promise. And this would be directly available in S4 Hana. S4 Hana has two things, aATP and aATP. aATP you can use with a standard license which comes, but for aATP, you need a special license. aATP, you need a special license, right? But it is available within S4 Hana. The same way for PPDS, you need a special license. For EWM, you need a special license. For TM, you need a special license. Although all of these things is part of S4 Hana, but you need to make sure you have a license to use it. Same way, aATP is there, which is from scratch is developed. aATP, which you see today, the latest version we have 2023, 2024 will come anytime in this next quarter. But in our system, it will take another 6 months to jump to the 2024. So 2023, if you will see, aATP, the shape you see, the shape was not same when it was launched in 2016. When 2016 SAP has launched, because this is not an embedded component where basically they have broken that wall or a brick and try to insert it in S4 HANA so that at one shot it comes with all the functionalities. If you have worked on any kind of product development, right, you would be able to understand product developments are always agile in nature. So in 2016, a lot of functionalities which was not there, which is there in 2023, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I am giving these trainings from 2016. 2016, I started my first batch of SAP S4 Hana Simple Logistics, where I started covering the aATP. There is a specific reason why I am putting aATP now separate. I have seen in last 8 years how aATP has been developed. It has been drastically changed. aATP has been drastically changed. Every year on year, the functionality become better and the new functionality came on with aATP. New functionalities has been added on. Now we can say there itself, people were asking 2016 when I was doing it, people were asking me whether aATP is a replacement of GATP. I clearly told aATP is not a replacement of GATP. SAP is not calling it now. But SAP will call it in another 5 to 6 years that aATP is a replacement of GATP. Because in 2016-17, aATP was not having a functionality which GATP offers. GATP offers so many different functionalities. Checking availability check across the globe, right? That functionality was not there in aATP in 2016, but that was introduced in 2020. Now you can say that aATP is something, a tool which you can call it as a successor of GATP, Global Available to Promise. But there is no linkage between GATP. A client who is using GATP, there is no conversion available to move to aATP. That is not available. This always you need to implement from the scratch. Because of the functionality which has been keep on adding in. Now, what are the functionalities? I don't want to make in today's session to confuse you. You will feel this is too much heavy. A lot of things will be there. Yes, a lot of things are there, but a lot of things will be there. So back order processing, advanced back order processing will come up with the bucket strategies, win, gain, improve, redistribute. That has been added, and this strategy also in 2016, I told to my customer, don't use it. I asked them, wait till 2018 and 19. At that time, we were having a lot of bugs in these strategies. Now it is in decent phase. Now I ask my customer, go ahead and use it. Then product allocation, it came around 2017. I remember if my memory is correct. I'm getting old and older. So, but if I'm able to remember it correctly, 2017, the product allocation was introduced. I told my customers, don't use it. When it was introduced, the product allocation, अब तुम पूछोगे sir, ये product allocation क्या है? What is the product allocation? Just to explain you in a few lines, the product allocation is iPhone 16 example. I have a limited stock. I want to strategically define कि भैया out of my stock, which I have or supply of 50,000 iPhone I would be having in October month, 10,000 need to go to China, 20,000 need to go to India, 5,000 need to go to USA, and that much need to go to Canada. So I'm allocating my product based on my strategy. I'm allocating my product based on my strategy, and based on that allocation which I have defined, if customer orders are coming based on that allocation, it would be allocated. But anything which is coming which I have not defined in my allocation strategy should not be confirmed. Should not be confirmed. Apart from that logic of back order processing and the strategy, on top of that, I also put it my allocation strategy, right? That is called the production allocation strategy. 2017, I asked my customer not to use it and wait it. And from 2019 or 20, it became usable, because 2017, the dashboards was not available. It was very difficult to identify that based on the product allocation, how much allocation has been done and how much allocation is pending. That standard reports was not there. Standard Fiori dashboards was not there. That came up in 2019 and got improved in 2020, right? So that is the advanced product allocation functionality which came up. Again, product allocation is also there with aATP. Not usable. I hate that functionality. To configure it, there's a 17 steps which is required. Even consultant become confused. Ki, bhaiya, what are the things we are doing? After defining CVCs, they become mad. Product allocation is there. Basic product allocation is there in ECC also, in S4 HANA also, but not usable. This advanced product allocation is much better than the basic one. Then we have a product substitutions. You can substitute the product, right? So if you don't have availability of product A, which is 50 kg sugar packet, but you have a 100 kg sugar packet, you have demand of 10, so your availability is not there. So your system should be able to understand to replace with the material B, which is 100 kg, and reduce the quantity 5 wherever customer allows you, right? For that also you need to put the strategy that is called your substitution strategies. That also is now introduced in SAP S4 HANA. Then we have ABC. ABC is alternate based confirmation. Ki bhaiya, distribution center 1 got the order, but he does not have a stock. Can I supply from distribution 2? Distribution 1 and distribution 2 are different plant codes. In SAP, when the sales order is created, it only checks the availability for the plant for which the sales order is coming. It will not check ki bhaiya, from Haryana also I can supply, from Karnataka also I can supply, from Gujarat also I can supply. If I don't have a stock in Haryana, I should check it whether from Gujarat I can supply to the customer. Right? That intelligence is not there in the standard system. That was there in GATP, and now it is there. It was introduced in 2020 and come into the usable condition somewhere in 2022. ABC become usable. And still a lot of improvements are still required. I remember in 2019 or 20, we did the beta testing and I gave a list of the requirements which need to be added in the ABC. Still few has been added and few are still pending, which need to come up. The functionality will be improved further in the future. So ABC came into the picture, where basically I'm giving the order and system intelligently identify the different plants, and it can replace the plant also in the sales order. That is called alternate based plant confirmation. Then we have a supply production. Supply production is a little bit reverse of product allocation. Product allocation, you define the maximum, what I can give it to it. Product supply production, you say that minimum I need to give to that. Minimum 5,000 should be given to India. So that minimum quantity we protected. Is a similar concept, but the different strategy, which is used for supply production. Later on in product allocation in the recent part, this part, they have also added the warehouse capacities also. But you are doing the all the confirmation based on what you have, based on the stock, right? And based on the stock, you have a stock and you have confirmed the quantity, but your warehouse capability is not there. Your warehouse can only dispatch up to a certain limit, right? But you are confirming based on the stock. How about the warehouse capacity? You have only 2 docking stations in the distribution center, and maximum 10 trucks based on your availability of the labors. Also 10 trucks you would be able to load it, but the confirmation you have given for the 15 trucks. How this will happen? How this would be possible, right? Then in the product allocation, that warehouse capacity allocations, that based on when we are doing the confirmation, we need to also check there can be the constraint to the warehouse capacities to dispatch the product, right? That also you need to consider. The things will become very complex when you will go into the nature of the business, When you try to understand for the companies which have a limited stock and high supplies, then these all things they ask as a requirement, and then SAP has now. They have added that functionality in product allocation. These all things is there in aATP. That's why the aATP would be required. Supply assignment run. Earlier, this was a industry-specific retail functionality. People who have worked in retail, they might be knowing about A-run. We do A-run to allocate to do the hard allocation. This is about the hard allocations. Now this is available for all of the industry with the tool called supply assignment run. This is the same concept as the A-run, but now available with the name of supply assignment run. Then we have few more things which will come up, but at this point, before ending this today's session, there are so many things you need to learn. I want to first give you the thing that what are the job opportunities. I am letting you know from last 1.5 years, I'm getting so many requirements on aATP because in my LinkedIn profile, I have mentioned I have worked on aATP. In last 6 months, at least 3 calls I got from Europe directly from SAP. SAP is doing these implementations. aATP implementation, they don't have resources. I work as a freelancer also. They approach me from three different countries in Europe, directly from SAP, they want it. My availability was not there. I was not able to work, but they need specific aATP consultant. They are calling it specific aATP consultant. If you are experienced in aATP, just try to add. And if you are very active, if you are from after 6 months, if you are logging into the LinkedIn, I cannot say anything. But if you are very active, just try to make in your profile, just try to put aATP. Nowadays, a demand is coming for specific aATP consultants, advanced available to promise consultants. Jump into it. This is a low-hanging fruit. 10 to 12 hours of training, a niche area where so many people are not there. GATP guys are also not looking to aATP. They get busy in their own APO-related modules, exploring and jumping into IBP. APO guys are more trying to jump into IBP. So this aATP is a low-hanging fruit, a 10 to 12 hours of training. If you put your hands on around 30 to 40 hours, you would be able to pluck that fruit and you would be able to available for so many new requirements coming it up. And these new requirements require specifically aATP consultant. It will happen only for 5 to 6 years, where this demand is there. What is going to happen after 5 to 6 years, after 10 years? All SD consultant right now, they know aATP, right? Then after 6, 7 years, all SD consultant would be required to know aATP, right? So it will happen when the PP consultant goes, they by default, they expect कि QM तो इसको आता ही होगा. He will also do the consulting for QM, quality management. After 7 to 8 years, that would be the expectation. They are taking SD guy, aATP, he would be knowing it. That things will happen after 7 to 8 years. But now it is a low-hanging fruit available in the market. Specialized people are required because all SD consultant does not know aATP. All SD consultant even does not know the advanced functionality in SD itself. When I take the interviews, they know high level कि भैया हाँ settlement management आ गया है now. The furies come, but if I ask 2 or 3 here and different questions how it will happen, they are not able to answer it. Fury people hardly have used it. So many good functionalities. Still people are doing the developments for it. By default, it's available from Fury. Okay. So there are not many people who would upskill themselves, right? If you are the one, okay, I have also put it this. I was not knowing I have put it this. I have also put it this. So you can see in my LinkedIn, please connect. We are a German IT company and we have aATP for 6+ months. It would be keep on extended. 100% remote freelancing requirement. We are looking for SAP aATP expert in the back order processing. Client is in Mexico. It would be remote position. They always say that 50, 25 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. If you're interested into the freelancing, these kind of modules, you should pick it up. People are not there around the world. If you're working from anywhere, they would be okay. The knowledge is more important here rather than your availability on a specific site. These kind of module, you need to pick it up if you want to jump into the freelancing. Remote position for aATP. And this is around 4 or 5 months ago, which requirements came. I have put it here. Nowadays, any requirement comes, my team straight away say no, because I am busy in developing the business and the trainings and also doing a freelancing for one of the project. And beyond that, I don't have a capacity. So I keep on saying no. but the market is quite open. If you are the opportunities, if you like to take the opportunities, this is a chance for you. This is a chance for you. Okay, you can jump into it. A small course is there, a low effort and high value. I would simply tag it. aATP is low effort and high value. People always ask me, I do a lot of career counseling, more than near to 3,000 career counseling I have seen. And people look, a lot of experienced people come to me and people look here what they can add more in their profile. Because in IT, you need to keep on improving. A lot of SD consultant is going for TM to add further module to it, which is very good. I am going to do a session on TM and I'm bringing an expert, which is you can say that the technology agnostic. He has worked into all different TM tools available in the market, Oracle, SAP or Blue Yonder. And we are going to discuss that, bhaiya, why SAP TM suddenly demand has picked up like this, and there are specific reason. And I would be having a podcast with him in this step up circle. The date has not been confirmed, but I think it would be just before Diwali or after Diwali. I would be having a podcast with him to let people know कि भैया what is the reason. Although SAP is not a flagship runner in TM, but still there's a peak, there's a spike in the demand for the TM consultant. What is the reason? We'll discuss that. Okay, the similar way, this is a low-hanging fruit. If any SD consultant, I'm talking about SD more because aATP is basically used in SD, although in production also it is used, but it is basically used in SD sales side. If you are SD consultant, this is must to do. Otherwise, the story will happen, who moved my cheese? Other people, they are earning a lot, they are doing very better because they are putting efforts by themselves to learn, to improve their product. And there are other people, if the project will come, my company will train me, then I will go ahead, right? You need to consider yourself is your product. It's your responsibility to improve your product and sell in the market. The dynamics are keep on changing, right? If you want to sustain, anytime a storm can come up, only people who would be having a multiple skill set would be able to sustain. Right? So make sure keep adding the skill sets. Don't stop with only SAP SD or any specific module. Keep on adding your modules. This is how I am ending the session for today, the topic for today, the first segment for today. And we will be jumping on to the second, we'll be jumping on to the trainings on 21st of October. If you are enrolled, I will catch you 6:30 a.m. for the first session. First session we'll do on aATP to make sure you are clear with the aATP concepts. And then from the second session, we'll jump into the aATP. Now I'm going into the second session, and when I go into the second session, it's a question and answers. Now, if any question is there, you can quickly put it into the chat. Around 10 hours of live training would be there, but we'll keep on adding the videos of aATP. We are also creating a document library for aATP, where the different scenarios in aATP, we are putting in a document library content, right? So because it's a small course, it's a quick hanging course, and these are the people who comes for the aATP. I don't expect the freshers to come up here. This is not a module for the fresher. At least 2 to 3 years of experience you should be having as a consulting. Then you need to jump into it. And because experienced people many times they prefer, that's my understanding, they prefer to learn on their own pace based on their own requirement. Jab bhi project say I have a few minutes available, I have few hours available, I will open it and I will learn it. That's what their tendency is, and we don't have any problem with that. That's why I'm saying that, okay, this last virtual instructor-led session I will do, and then we'll do this course as a self-paced course. Then this course would be available as a self-paced course. We'll be keep on adding the things when I'm trying every server, new time, I find the new things. I would be creating a videos, or I would be doing a live session. We'll ask all our aATP students to come to the live session to know what are the new things has been added up. Renuka is still saying, we still in ECC. Is it worth spending time on aATP now? Who moved my cheese? Renuka, you need to read that book. By the time you will understand that you want to move to S4 Hana or you want to upskill for something, somebody will move your cheese, right? Somebody will move your cheese. So the dynamics are changing very rapidly. even though you are in ECC, learn these concepts so you can be adaptable. You can be adaptable to the new upcoming projects. I have a bunch of students for one company, one specific company. They are migrating from ECC to S4 HANA. And I'm doing the training for them. And these companies, they were supporting in ECC. And when this migration project come, ECC to S4 HANA, which migration, they were expecting they would be working on it. But what they have done, they have taken Accenture, IBM, outside people. Those consultants are coming. Rather, their in-house consultants, those consultants are coming to take it to the S4 HANA. When these key people are saying we are working for so many years, why don't you are utilizing us and giving a chance to work onto the S4 HANA? The company is saying you don't have any experience in S4 HANA. You don't know any S4 HANA. Do you know S4 HANA? If you know S4 HANA, we give you the chance. But we don't have time to train you. We are taking from outside. They will be doing the implementation. When they do the implementation, again, they will train you. You do the support activities. Right? Out of one or two people who has been already experienced in S4 HANA, they did a certification in S4 HANA. They were able to put their case, and they were the one who has been introduced to the implementation one. Rest all are still trying now. They are trying to upskill themselves now when they understand it now. It was necessary for themselves to upskill by their own. So that can be the case for you also. It is not about the aATP. Always think about to upskill yourself if you want to sustain in IT environment. Anil is saying, will IBP will replace aATP? How aATP exactly has superiority over IBP? Will IBP consultant given the priority over the aATP consultant? We are trying to compare Anil orange and apple, right? So what happened when SAP came in with IBP? They come in APO. There are the multiple functionalities are there. So the different functionality they have put it into the apples they have put it into the separate buckets. The oranges they have put it into the separate bucket, and the bananas they have put it into the separate bucket. So IBP does not have a aATP functionality. The GATP functionality of APO has been converted to the aATP functionality in S4 HANA, but not in IBP. IBP does not have this functionality. IBP have a demand planning functionality. IBP have a supply planning functionality. IBP have what do we call it? Demand-driven material requirement functionality. Those kind of planning functionalities are there in IBP, but not the functionality which aATP has. So we are trying to compare apple versus orange. They both are different. IBP consultant would be used for different purpose. aATP consultant would be used for different purpose. Will you show end-to-end scenarios for aATP, which will cover configs and thereby some end-to-end cycle? Will be covering the end-to-end cycles. But we have seen some students comes up, they need a lot of hand holding. They ask us ki everything you showcase in the system. So in the back order processing, with every strategy, there can be multiple combination. And I'm so surprised to see the students comes with expectation, nahi sir, everything you do it and show it to us. हमारे हाथ से हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे. We will not do anything with our hand. If you are the one you are expecting that I will do the spoon feeding to you, I will hold your hand for each of the scenarios. Please don't join this training. This training would be 10 hours of instructor-led training. I would show you the key configuration in the system and we'll run the key scenarios in the system, right? But this is 10 hours of instructor-led training. Back order processing itself, by covering 8 different scenarios, I can spend 8 hours only on the back order processing. But what I expect that you are a consultant, and consultants are self-explorative in nature. Once they have shown this is the thing need to be done, you can jump yourself in the system and you can do it on your own, right? So it is a 10-hour of instructor-led training. There are some specific additional videos can be there, which I will ask you to do it. But 10 hours of instructor-led training, I will show you the end-to-end scenario. I will show you the configuration also, but I will not show you each and everything. If you put your deep, that's why I'm saying that if you put the SD training, I can do for 400 hours also, showing each and everything with each and every scenarios. But we do a 40 hours training. But we expect if I showcase you one scenario, the other configuration, changing the configuration, if I change this, what will happen? If I change this master data, what will happen? If I try a combination of this, what will happen? I will expect you to explore yourself because you are consultant, you are not a baby, right? So anybody is having expectation. I saw a couple of students jumped in and they have that expectation ki Parminder sir will do spoon feeding to me. Everything, I take it there, what will happen? I untick it there, what will happen? Sir, in live session, show it to me. This is not going to happen. So, Akhil, if you do have that kind of expectation, please don't join the session. Giriraj, the above was my question as well. Even the real-time business scenarios. Yes, real-time business scenarios we covered. All the people, we are not doing it for first time. You can see all the recordings in the previous batch also has been available. You can go it. But again, I will showcase. Today I explained you the real-world scenario, iPhone 16, right? I explained you the COVID scenario. That kind of scenarios, real-world scenarios would be explained to you. But again, I am explaining within back order processing also, there can be 100 plus real world scenarios can be there. So you don't expect from me to explain you all the 100 scenarios, right? Then the back order processing training is itself 8 to 10 hours. Giriraj is asking, will there be Fiori and S4 HANA server provided for practice? Will be getting a document to configure the aATP? I show you to configure the aATP in the live session. Okay, I would be showing you how to configure the aATP on the live session. Again, some people are very spoon-feeded people. कि sir, everything back order processing step by step एक document create करके दो मेरे को, give it document with the screenshot, then the training is done. I will not do anything from my hand. So I will show you all the things. I cannot commit for all the documents. We are working onto the document library, and we are working for all of the modules for the document library, right? aATP also the document library will come up. But when I'm showing you all the things in the video step by step, and then you say, sir, ek iska document bana ke bhi do, I would be asking you, giving you assignment, Giriraj, you prepare the document by yourself, right? By putting the screenshot step by step document. I will show you in the live session. If you say that, sir, I cannot do, whenever I required, you give me the document, I will save it with me. That kind of things we don't do. Again, I'm repeating, I don't do the spoon feeding. I want consultant to work themselves to learn. By sitting in my sessions, you will not learn. If you will learn 6 months, 1 year, it will remember. But I will push you to do the things on your own in the system. Then only you would be able to learn, right? So that pushing, you will get it from me. That, bhaiya, this thing you do step by step. And for everything, there is assignment. Everything, there is a PPT document, which you need to prepare it. If you do it by yourself, next 10 years, somebody will wake you up from the sleep also, you would be able to answer it. Otherwise, the 1,000 of MBs and GBs of data in your somewhere in the hard disk is stored with all the things, but nothing is there in your mind. And then you don't have a type to go and search for those documents to read also, right? That's people tendency. I should have everything stored with me, 100 of GBs. Nobody has time to read them. If you do with your own hand, you learn it, that remains. Other thing is just all crap. SAP TM, we are just starting post Diwali. We have already fixed the timing for the new batch for the TM. We are just starting post Diwali. Okay, already answered. So the link has been given. You can click on the link. Bhupender, can you clarify on the chat? Do we have, or by unmuting yourself, do we have a server access also in the bundle for aATP? We give the Fiori access, we give the S4 HANA access, both are there. But in the bundle, do we have a server access also available? Or let me click and open it. Yeah, 2 months of server access is there. 2 months of server access is there. All the videos would be provided. Videos you would be having as soon as you enroll, you would be having the videos with you. Because the previous lecture videos, we give it to you. So we have a dynamic course content for aATP that you would be having it. Self-paced course, Rochek, is available for aATP. You can go through, but the price is same. There's no change in the price. This price is actually the self-paced price, which will convert into the self-paced. That's what I'm saying, that is a self-paced. Or Aman, if you have a specific thing on the live training, yeah, this is the one which will convert into the self-paced also, the same price. So we'll be having one session Monday, 6:30 a.m., only one session would be there in a week. So it will take around 2 months of time to cover this. Giriraj is asking, self-paced training is taken by you. Yes, the self-paced video also would be there. It is my videos, if you want to ask that question, Giriraj. Okay, we are almost at the end of our second segment. I have answered all the questions related to aATP you have. If you have any other question, quickly ask it before I jump into the third segment. Third segment would be the segment where we will be discussing about the career counselings. Anybody have any question related to career counseling? Please ask the question. Okay. Anyone has any question related to career counseling? You can put the career related question in the chat. I will just wait for 30 seconds, or you can also raise your hand. I will give you the unmute access, and then you will be able to ask your career related question. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the questions. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.